Word up, yo, the post-game analysis starts now.
Welcome to Episode Pending with Maz, your #1 reality TV podcast, dropping gems after the episode. Get your teacups ready. Get your wine glass out and pop a bottle, because you are about to get quenched. All things reality TV. Welcome to Episode Pending with Maz.
Okay guys, welcome back to Episode Pending. I just want to give you guys an important update. As you guys know, in the last video we talked about Nick and Nicolandria breaking up, and about 2 days ago or a day ago now, I don't know when you're watching this video, but Nick confirmed the breakup on his TikTok subs only, and a lot of people have a lot to say about that. Number one being, many people think that, okay, this is definitely a PR relationship, because how can he use his sub only to announce the breakup? I have to say, guys, if you have been watching or if you've been paying attention to this Nicolandria thing for as long as we have, let me tell you something. As a person who's a Nicolandria, I support both Nick and Nicolandria, and I stand on it. Why I support them is because I have never in my whole entire life of living have seen people hate a person for loving the person they love, or hate a person because of who they are with. Like, this is such a foreign concept to me, because, like I said, I don't know what goes on in America, but it's just so interesting to see this, like, division when it comes to, like, dark-skinned women and white men dating. Because, I mean, some people are rejoicing right now, like, oh, he's not saving the world anymore, he's not healing the world anymore. And when you look at what she said in that interview, she didn't even allude to anything about he's her white savior, for example. But people made it out to be like that. So now we're stuck in this conversation where we're saying, so just because it's her, she doesn't deserve to be loved? Because that's the concept that I get when you guys are bringing up these different aspects of her life. And I just think, like, people need to quit and just realize, like, people do break up. Things happen. You know, even if they had a contract, let's just say people are right, they had a contract. People did not fall in love with Nicolandria because Nicolandria is because of a white man and a black woman. People fell in love with Nicolandria because it was just beautiful to watch on your screens. It's like that type of connection that you cannot explain, you know, because I see a lot of people like, oh, the Peacock wants us to support Trinity and Bryce because they're the new swirl couple. And it's like, for me, good, Trinity and Bryce have a connection, but they didn't move me as much as Nicolandria did, right? The same thing when I watched season 6. Oh my God, I was so obsessed with Serena and Cordell. So what does that make us? We're just people that love romantic things. We just love when people fall in love, when people are just being themselves. And so when you guys come here and you're trying to make it think about, like, oh, because she's with a white man, or because he went for a black woman, it's crazy to me. The concept is crazy, because we fell in love with these people because of their story. Same thing if you go back to season 6, we fell in love with Serena and Cordell because of their story. Even if you guys go back to as early as season 2, where Justine and Caleb, we shall not talk about Caleb, it was because of the dynamic they had on the screen that made people fall in love with them. Now, the concept that I don't like about Love Island, that's probably going to make me stop watching very soon, is the pushing of building brands on the backs of black women. Because if you've noticed, men in general have now noticed that if you want to make it, if you want to excel outside the show, you have to be with a dark-skinned woman, or at least a woman of color. And so people are going to start taking advantage of that, and it's going to start getting very, very irritating very soon. Because I've noticed men, as you can see, people like Kenny, people like Caleb, they've been doing it for a long time. And we're going to see a lot of that happening very, very soon. That's why I don't believe, until proven otherwise, that's why I don't believe Nick belongs in that category where people are putting him and saying, oh, he just saw that the traction that they had outside the show. That man liked that girl before he even knew Olandria had motion outside the show. So you guys trying to make it all about, oh, it's because of the swirl. People supported them because of the swirl. No, people supported them because their love story was just so unique to the point that you cannot recreate that. That's why you see Trinity and Bryce not excelling as much as people want them to excel, because to me, there's a little bit of inauthenticity, but again, maybe they're not my cup of tea. Okay, my cup of tea was Nicolandria. My cup of tea is Serena and Cordell. My cup of tea is like Leah and Miguel. That's just where I stand. I was never a fan of Janae and what's his name, that one who's always appearing on podcasts unwarranted. Yeah, Kenny. I never wanted them. I actually remember that time I was like, I don't know. I remember making notes in my review, and I was like, nah, I don't like this couple together. There's something about this connection that's inauthentic. I feel like there's like a push. This guy's faking his character. And for me to find out this happening now, I'm like, wow, Kenny, it didn't even take you that long. So just a little discussion on that. I just think Love Island is getting to a point where it's going to become monotonous and boring, because people know that getting with a dark-skinned woman on the show is going to push your motion. It's going to have you grossing a lot of income outside the show. And I have a feeling that Peacock, or whichever or whoever is responsible for the show, is going to change the contracts every single year. Because let me tell you, they saw how much they did not, I will repeat, they did not get any motion from Nicolandria, which was the biggest so far. I don't know what Trinity and Bryce are going to do and what they're going to have, but I can tell you it's going to be really, really hard to top what Nicolandria did. Whether Nick and Olandria are together, the fact still remains. People supported them because of who they are, not because what they are as a couple. Because if you look at it, their solo careers have prospered. You can just tell the support is not because of the couple, but the support is people fell in love with the individuals that made Nicolandria. You see, so that's a big difference that I see coming in the future that people are not ready for. They think that Olandria is going to crumble or Nick is going to crumble. But at the end of the day, they're going to prosper because people fell in love with who they were individually, or who they are individually. It has nothing to do with, unfortunately, just the Nicolandria brand, because we didn't even get any couple content together. I remember people were like thinking they're going to do lives or they're going to do a joint YouTube channel. They focused on their own path. And that was very smart of both of them, because they don't have to rely on each other for content, because they've paved their own path. Now, talking about Dumois, I heard about Dumois is I guess this blog that posts like things, and was talking about Olandria cheated on Nick. That's why, they broke up. And this is alleged, obviously, and which was not true, because Olandria did tell them that I'm going to have my lawyers ready for you. And again, this is another great example of always making the Black woman suffer. Because why are we coming for Olandria? What has Olandria done to you people? I ask myself. If you're a person and you're getting your spirit aroused evoked by someone just existing, you need to go and pray. You need to go and fast. You need to talk to God and ask, why am I feeling this way about this person? Without just hating somebody. You know, there's so many people that do wrong in life, and you're just like, I pray for them to do better. But if you see someone really genuinely doing good, minding their business, just winning, and their spirit makes you upset, you need to seek counsel with God's angels, because you have an evil spirit. Why are we attacking that girl? She has never done anything. There are people that deserve actually this attacking, and I'm not saying attack people, but there are people that deserve this kind of attacking, and I have never seen those people get attacked one bit. One bit. I've never seen them get attacked. I think this show, being the biggest show of summer and everything, is just kind of ruining the show. I think maybe they need to change to have Love Island during winter or something, because at this point it's becoming very, very toxic, very, very parasocial, that people are just not thinking outside the box. It's all about fighting. It's about also growing their own following, because they know that if they talk badly about Nicolandria, or if they talk about Huda, or if they talk about whatever, whomever it is, if they talk about Trinity, whatever, in a bad, negative light, they are going to get traction, which is really, really not good. All right. Just pivoting a little bit, I do want to bring up on the other news, which is the WNBA is such an interesting place, okay? I've been watching basketball since forever. I also played basketball for like 13 years of my life, both from high school and then professionally a little bit in China. And I've been watching the WNBA for as long as I can remember. And seeing the drama that's happening between Dijonai, Lise, and obviously Jackie a little bit with Deja Kelly, and to name a few, is crazy. This All-Star weekend was like, I was like, oh my God, the WNBA is missing on monetization of this of this All-Star weekend, because they could do a reality TV show and I'm sure things could go down, because the way those people were getting on each other, I have to say. So my thing is, who do I believe is telling the truth? Do I believe Dijonai or NaLyssa is telling the truth? I personally think Dijonai is obviously hurt. Probably something triggered her to say this, right? And I think it's true. What she said, I 100% think that it's true. But do I think that she should have said it or should have addressed it? No. Because I do think when you're in a new relationship, I think respecting your partner is the most important thing, unless your partner is with the shits, you know? But I do think when you've moved on with somebody and you are creating something, even when you're hurt, try and find your own small console that you can talk to about your feelings. But yeah, coming on social media is great and all, but unless if she was drunk or tipsy, but it's great and all, but when you wake up, you're like, oh, I didn't want to do that. I didn't have to do that. So I just hope behind the scenes they can be able to figure this out, because NaLyssa and Jackie being on the same team is kind of crazy. And you know, that's the thing that's been happening with the WNBA. The drama did not start today. It started a long time ago. And the thing is, most of the time the people are on the same team, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is drama on steroids, okay? So yeah, I will be following up on that, but I do think, like, you know, probably Liz did cheat, and because even her explanations, some of them were, it was kind of, she was, in my mind, she was alluding to the fact that she could have possibly, Dejanay could have possibly cheated on her first, and she was just retaliating. Now, I don't know how far true that is. I just know that their relationship has been toxic since Baylor days. So I just hope that they're not going to push this over, into the season, because I do need the Aces to repeat. Okay, I do not want drama. Okay, I'm an Aces fan. I don't want no drama. Okay, I'm starting to also enjoy Atlanta Dream games. I love Angel Reese, and so yeah, I just don't want any drama for the Aces. Please, please. All right, guys, I will let you know when I have other topics to talk about, but I just wanted to address this in a short little one. Until next time, bye.